Oh, nothing. Oh, nothing. Come on, let's have a seat. Dorothy secretly laughed, hearing Mike stammered. Mike allowed Dorothy to have a seat first. Then he sat too. It was a three-seater bench, yet they're sitting close to each other. There was an overhead lamp about 1 meter on the left side of the bench, so the light was shining on them as the moon was on the ocean. So, is that the reason why you came back here? Dorothy asked with a bit of hesitation. Huh? What reason? To remember her. Yes. To remember how beautiful it was to be in love. To recall how you held her hands to... Stop, please stop. Mike clasped his hands and hid his face beneath them. Dorothy was perplexed by Mac's reaction. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I don't remember. I don't know most of it. The memories are very cloudy. Mike, it's all right. It's not a big deal, she said as if to comfort him. But Mike wasn't convinced. He stood up and put his hands on the top of his head. He faced the sea. I came back here because I thought the memories would come back. I figured that maybe once I'll look at the ocean again, and once I get to walk on this boulevard one more time, then maybe I will remember everything, that I will recall all the romantic moments we had together, that I will remember the places we went to. Mike felt intense. But nothing at all. It's still blank. The best this place could offer me are faint memories and flashes of faces and words. Mike, please sit down. What I only remember is I fell in love with her, but that's not enough. How can I even say I remember I love her if I do not recall that many memories surrounding her? If I've already forgotten everything about our story? I'm starting to feel that I'm stupid. Mike started to walk away from the bench slowly. Dorothy was now looking at Mike's back. Mike, please come back here. Please sit down. The cold wind gently blew and touched Mike's cheeks. The splashing sound of the sea resonated like cymbals in an orchestra. As Mike stopped walking, the anxiety refluxing from his back shuddered through his spine. He turned around and faced Dorothy. Dorothy, listen to me. I can't even remember his face. What does that make me? I'm a fool. There was silence. Mike slowly walked away again from Dorothy. Then he stopped and breathed slowly. He was trying to banish the feeling of uncertainty about how he felt. He looked at the ocean, which should have now been enveloped by darkness, if not for the moon. He faced the sea again. He couldn't look at Dorothy. All Mike and Dorothy could hear now were the alternating sounds of the waves and the tiny voices of children playing at the far end of the boulevard. And as the rocks received the splashing water, the sounds they made resembled a piano and a cello delightfully warming up. The wind also made a whizzing sound that hummed its way like a song without lyrics. But none of these mattered to Mike and Dorothy at the moment. The many questions in their minds dominated their consciousness. Mike and Dorothy were speechless, as if the snuggling cold wind restrained their lips. Dorothy stood up. She glanced at the time in her watch, under the now flickering light from the lamp. It's now 7 o'clock. She had been with this man, Mike, and was talking with him for the last couple of hours or so. Dorothy started to feel something she couldn't understand. There was something she felt might transpire, but she wasn't sure of what it would be. And whatever special revelation this night might unfold, she realized that she was not ready. Mike, I have to go. I need to go back to my place. Mike deliberately refused to say a word. Tears were flowing from his eyes and he didn't want Dorothy to see his face. He kept looking at the sea. It was nice meeting you, Mike. Maybe we'll see each other again. Someday. I need to go. Dorothy felt guilty for lying. She didn't really need to go. That afternoon before they met, she planned to stay in the boulevard until midnight, which she usually does on a Friday night like tonight. But what other things could she possibly talk about with this man? The more they conversed, the more past wounds were opening up, his and hers. She began skirting her mind. Maybe an offer to help can ease up the situation. Yes, perhaps that's it, she told herself. And besides, what would she be afraid of? Uncertainty? She had been uncertain about many things in her whole life. The next few moments of doubt would not be a big deal anymore. She placed her right hand in her chest and touched the thin linen of her sweater to withdraw some warm feeling of courage and allow her to say her next words, as her eyebrows went all tent shaped with concern. Mike, I can stay if you want me to. Mike screamed joyfully inside but demonstrated calmness outside. He liked what he just heard. Not only that, Mike didn't want to be alone, but he also knew that he needed just one particular person at that point. Dorothy. He wanted to be with Dorothy, a lady he just met a couple of hours ago. He felt something for her for the next moments, although it made no sense and appeared to mean nothing, but he could not make his feelings stop. Or maybe, just maybe, this night would reveal something deeper, something more profound. Please, Mike shyly pleaded. Mike's voice was soft, but Dorothy heard it loud, like how the trumpeters of a giant castle were announcing it with a musical sound from their brass instruments. Dorothy was euphoric, but she didn't show her excitement. She didn't want to make it too apparent that this was also what she wanted to do, to stay with Mike. All right, Mike, I want you to come back here and sit with me. Mike turned around slowly and began to walk back to the bench. At the precise moment, he felt like he had just been fished out from the water. He was also not sure if he was not breathing normally or if it was only his heart trying to escape from his chest. He had no clue what will happen next. He just had an inkling that this lady could possibly untie his untangled past. And just as he predicted, as he was coming near her, he heard his heart again, gently splashing like the sound of a boat paddle hitting a calm river. He sat down at the same place. Move closer to me, mister. Mike obeyed. He moved closer to Dorothy. He could now smell the fragrance of her light perfume that resembled the scent of regal flowers. Thanks. I think I messed up a bit a while ago. I didn't mean to. Shut up. Dorothy interrupted Mike. Mike was shocked but pleasantly surprised. No one has shushed him before, much less asked him to shut up. This lady was different. But then he vaguely recalled somebody who already did, somewhere back in time, in the past, and then a flash of memory. The same girl with long dark silky hair, saying, "Shut up, just tell me." Then it's gone. Then a bicycle, two bicycles, and then gone too. Then nothing again. Mike's eyes were staring directly at Dorothy's glasses. Mike, are you alright? Huh? Yes, I'm fine. What's that? What's what? That, Dorothy exclaimed while pointing at Mike's forehead. What happened? Oh, this car accident a long time ago. Huge one? Yeah, a rear-end collision. My head hit the front windshield. No seatbelt? No, I had none, or it was not working. I can't recall. I wish I had a seatbelt. It was an old car which I wanted to sell during those times. Safety was not part of many drivers' plans, not mine, and I paid dearly for that. Well, you survived. Yes, I did survive. Luckily, I wasn't killed, but I lost consciousness for 3 days. You were in a coma for 3 days? Dorothy yelled in disbelief. Mike got conscious and looked around first to see if people happened to hear Dorothy before continuing. Well, technically speaking, yes. Anyone who's in a state of unconsciousness for more than 6 hours after an accident is described as being comatose. I'm sorry to hear that, Mike, but it's good that you made it. I read that people kind of lose some memories after they wake up. Maybe that's what happened to you. A bit true in my case. The doctor said that it's not a big issue, which I'm not sure I believe. They did run some few tests a few weeks after I woke up, and they told me that if there are some dim memories, they will come back in time if I try hard, or if someone will help me. Mike moved his eyes in a circle and raised his eyebrows, implying in silence the message. You are the one who's going to help me, right? Dorothy showed a wide smile, suggesting that she understood what Mike meant to say. You said it was a long time ago. When was that accident? Would you believe that that it's the same year after I left this place. Actually, it was only, uh, it was just a week after I came back to Manila. Mike paused. His voice started to quiver. Dorothy has already learned when to keep quiet. After nearly 3 hours or so being with this man, she now understood that when Mike's voice shakes, it means he's in a solemn mood. But her eyes never left Mike's side profile while he was talking. There was something she was seeing in his face she couldn't figure out yet. After I left the hospital, I was trying to recuperate not only from physical injuries. I was trying to regain back not only my health but also the beautiful memories I had before the accident, which I seemed to have lost. Mike's voice was shuddering like a ship being tossed in the stormy ocean. 6 months of going in and out of the hospital for physical therapy and tests and needles and hospital smells and daily headaches of trying to remember what I could not. I got so depressed that I'd take whatever the future has in store for me. Then an opportunity to go and work in Canada came. I knew I had to get it. I had to go or I'll go nuts. There was silence again. Neither Dorothy nor Mike spoke for almost a minute. "All right, let's do this," she broke the silence, now with a cheerful smile on her face. He put his head up and opened his eyes. He looked at her like he just woke up again from another coma. "Do what?" "Remember, we will try to recollect your memories." "Oh yeah, sorry." "Just do what I say. It's not as if I have a choice." "I like that you can make a joke now," Dorothy smiled. "Only..." "Okay, listen to me. When I was a child, if I wanted to remember something I forgot, my grandmother used to do this with me." "Oh, I see. Wow, that must be a long, long time ago." "Shut up, Mike." They both laughed. There she was again, Mike said to himself, but this time he was no longer shocked by her shutting him up, nor was he surprised. Instead, he was elated. Mike also realized that both of them have already shared more than a few laughs and tears together in just the last few hours. It was weird, but soothing. "I am at your command." "Okay, now let's face each other," Dorothy said. Mike turned to his left while Dorothy turned to her right. Mike's left knee touched Dorothy's right knee. They both felt it, and they both ignored it because they somehow enjoyed it. "Now what?" "Here, hold my left hand with your right hand, and I will hold your left hand with my right hand." Mike stopped and just stared at her. "Come on, I washed my hands before I came here. The last thing I touched was your blue handkerchief." They both laughed again for the nth time. Then they began to hold hands. And when they did, Mike suddenly felt an electric current flowing from Dorothy's hands to his hands and discharging to his knee. He also felt a sensation he never felt for a long time. Dorothy's hands are very soft, and the fragrance of her perfume did not help ease Mike's excitement. When Dorothy held Mike's hand, she felt his strong palm. It has the effect of making her feel supported or protected or both. His masculine perfume was also soothing to her nose. This man was beginning to be someone she felt she could relate to easily. But why? She just met him today. He's a stranger, or is he? "Now what?" Mike asked again. "Close your eyes, then think." Mike closed his eyes. "Think of what?" "An event or something in the past that is very important to you at this time." "But I don't know what to think. I don't even know enough about it." "Nobody knows enough about it except you, Mike, and your mind will not give it away easily without your conscious effort to reach it. If you have to go back and walk to a shady passageway in your memory lane to recall a conspicuous landmark in your past, then that's what you have to do." Mike was impressed. How come she knows how to do it? And this looks like this is really going to make sense, Mike told himself. But how? What effort should he exert? Dorothy must know. She said she had done this before. This should work. "Okay, Dorothy, tell me the next steps." "All right, keep your eyes closed." Try to remember something very prominent, something that always comes back even though it does not last long. It could be a phrase, a word, a fragrance, a color, a laugh, an action, food, a book, clothes, a place, anything. So many choices, Mike said, at the back of his mind. Then, once you remember it, try to hold on to it. Don't let it go quickly. And while it's still there, try to associate it with another important thing that you want to see in the past. Alright? Do you follow? Ah, yes, I think I do, Mike said as he closed his eyes and smiled. Dorothy smiled too. She liked it when Mike smiles. Okay, after you have done that, hold on to the second thing that you have associated the first one with. Don't let it go. Then, associate it with another important thing you want to see in the past. Alright? Do this over and over again until you finally arrive on that very thought you want to remember, like her face or her name. Mike has no problem with the name. He will never forget her name. It's a short name with just 4 letters. He also wrote her name in a small 3x4 environmental booklet she gave him. So, when do I start? You can start now, and while you're at it, while you remember them, say the words that remind you of them loudly so that they will register clearer in your mind. And before she knew it, he was engulfed in his own thoughts. There was one thing they didn't realize though, that once Mike starts to verbalize his thought, he's not the only one to hear them. And keep your eyes closed, Dorothy added. And we keep holding hands too, Mike said to himself. He was enjoying her fragrance as much as he was enjoying holding her soft hand. Suddenly, without an effort, a flash of memory arrived again. This time it's food. Food. Ice cream. A cup of ice cream. Mango ube ice cream. But it's leaving again. It is going to be gone soon. But he has to hold on to it. He has to. He can't let it go. That's what Dorothy said. And he has to express it. Ice cream. We are eating ube ice cream. She has her cup. I have mine. Ice cream. Mango ube mixed ice cream. Ice cream, ice cream. I can see the ice cream melting inside a cup. I need to associate it with something I want to remember. Nothing is coming. Nothing. This is sorry. This is difficult, Dorothy. Dorothy was silent. She was thinking and asking herself, why is that ice cream part of his past? Of all the flavors, why does it have to be mango ube? She looked at Mike's face and continued searching. She had the liberty to do so because Mike's eyes were closed and he could not see her. This was the first time she had a careful look at Mike's face. There's something in his face, but the mustache was somehow obscuring it. This is not working. Dorothy, nothing is coming. Suddenly, Dorothy pressed his left hand. He had no idea if it was deliberate and part of his ritual, that Dorothy would squeeze his hand whenever he becomes stubborn. But he kind of liked it. Mike liked her hand holding his. Then quickly, a flash again. This time, it was clearer. Ice cream on his right hand. A soft, gentle hand was holding his left hand. A very soft hand. He was beginning to associate the first flash of memory to the second one. It's working, but he must start to voice them out now like what Dorothy said, or else they will be gone. I am seeing something now. I am holding a cup of ice cream, mango ube ice cream, on my right hand, and she's holding my left hand. We are holding hands and more. Dorothy was still looking curiously at Mike's face. If she could not imagine him without the mustache, he certainly looks like. But no, it can't be. He has a different name. But if his hair was longer, maybe, just maybe. Ice cream, holding hands. She walks ahead, but still holding my hand. Then she faces me, still holding my hand. She is now walking backwards, facing me. She is smiling and giggling. She is walking back and jumping low at the same time. Her hand is soft and smooth. I can feel it. By this time, Mike was wholly engrossed in his memories. It was getting impossible not to be affected by the extraordinary recollection of the beautiful memories which he was not able to connect or make sense for many years. This was working. Dorothy was right. And as he verbalized his memories, he was also acting them out, unconsciously, inadvertently. When he said, "Her hand is so soft and smooth, I can feel it," he was also feeling Dorothy's hands. He was moving his thumb along her palm and pressing her hand very gently and softly. When Dorothy felt Mike's hands caressing hers, she also felt a very familiar sensation she hadn't felt for years. But she remembers it well, like when she felt it for the first time. It was when her true love was here in the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. And again, no, it couldn't be. But all indications seemed to be what it could be. Part of her wanted nothing more than to sit on this bench with Mike and continue what they were doing. Another part wanted to escape and hide from what she was afraid might be revealed. I can feel her hand, but where's the ice cream? It's gone. I might have dropped it. But why did I lose it? Wait. Two bicycles are coming towards us. Two small colored bikes, one glowing red, the other one yellow-green, very light yellow-green, like the color of a fading banana leaf. Mike felt good that he could now remember the colors of the bicycles. Dorothy's face was also showing color. It turned rosy pink like a well-cooked ham. This could not be true. This could not be happening at all. Those two bicycles that Mike mentioned have the same colors her brother and sister owned many years ago. Jerry and Jenny are fraternal twins, and on their 9th birthday, she helped her father buy bicycles for them as gifts. They went to at least 3 stores. She was even the one who picked the colors. How could they possibly be part of Mike's past? A past that was also 27 years ago. But maybe it was just a coincidence. After all, it was probably not only her siblings who owned 2 bikes with one red and one yellow-green, very light yellow-green like the color of a fading banana leaf. Dorothy started to feel a butterfly flapping its wings inside her chest. This appeared to be too much of a coincidence. Her eyeglasses seemed to be helping her see things brighter, more precise and clearer, as she continued to look at Mike's face. "Hey, watch out. This is our island. This is our island. Beep, beep." That's what the 2 kids say as they ride their bicycles past us, as they drive farther away. She says back to them, "This is our island too, but don't worry, our future is in another island." Then she giggles. Then I hold both her hands. She is facing me as she continues to walk backwards, hopping and stepping back. Mike was all smiles. He was now holding both of Dorothy's hands. He would not let go of them anytime soon. I can't let her go. I'm holding her hands while she's walking backwards. And then I see it again. Her hair, her long black silky hair. Her smiles and giggles are the sweetest, but her face, I still can't. Mike continued still with his eyes closed. Dorothy was beginning to be sure. She was starting to be certain. Mike, please, you need to let me go." Mike did not hear a word she said. He was in another world and at another time. "I know she has the most beautiful and loveliest face I've ever seen. I just need more time." Then she said, "This is my happiest moment. I'd rather die now, happy in your arms, than live years without you and eventually die alone." Dorothy's tears began to run from her eyes. She couldn't wipe them dry because Mike was holding her hands. "It's him. It's really him." What she said made me angry, so I pulled her near me, closer to me, so close that I can smell her perfume and Mike paused. He realized that he just smelled the same fragrance not long ago. Actually, only a few minutes ago. But why? How? He also realized that he couldn't stop. He needed to continue his quest for lost memories, and they were getting clearer and brighter, and maybe more and more real if he would just stay on the course. Dorothy's face was now wet with tears. She was asking herself again, is this man's name really Mike? As Mike pulled her closer to him, and as Mike continued to act out his memories, Dorothy remembered this familiar scene years ago. Mike, please. Mike has his eyes still closed. You cannot die. If you die, I will die too. That's what I say to her. And then she says to me, I'm just trying to get a laugh. I'm kidding. I don't want to die now. Not until I'm with you. Mike's voice became soft. He then remembered her face, lovely and beautiful countenance. Then I say, you know what? Me too. I'm so delighted. And when I die, I want to die with you. I want to. Then she interrupts me. Shh, shut up, Juan Miguel. Just shut up, Miguel. Please, just tell me again how you feel about me. Dorothy was almost losing her consciousness now. It's him, all right. More than a minute ago, it was just mere speculations, but now she knows it's him. But is she ready for the truth? The truth that has been part of her broken dream. The truth that has been part of what she had been longing to come back to. And I say to her, my dear Thea. Thea, Dorothy exclaimed to herself. She has not heard someone mention the name Thea in her face for a long time, for many years. Dorothy's nickname is Thea. Her grandmother calls her Thea. Her father and mother calls her Thea. Her twin siblings call her Ate Thea, but outside her home she's either called Dorothy or Dora. And since she started working as a music teacher in at least two high schools and one university, she has not used the name Thea again. Everyone calls her Dorothy, and she does not expect anyone outside her family to call her Thea, except perhaps by this man, now and 27 years ago, by the same man. Then I move much closer to her, and I whisper in her right ear, I love you, Thea. I am in love with you. Then she whispers back, I love you too, Miguel. I am in love with you, my Juan Miguel. The trumpeters were blowing their brass instrument again. The trumpets were simultaneously sounding, or at least that's what both Mike and Dorothy seemed to hear at that very moment. That one moment in time was utterly beyond belief for both of them. Mike relived all the once lost memories he thought he would not remember again. Dorothy saw the once lost dream she had been hoping and longing to see again. Then Dorothy pulled her hands from Mike's hands. She was stunned. The man she had been waiting to come back for years is now here, sitting beside her. She had been preparing for this very moment for years, and she discovered that she was not ready. Mike was surprised that the hands he was holding have escaped from his caress. His trip to memory lane came to an abrupt stop. He opened his eyes slowly, very slowly. The light from the overhead lamp was still flickering, but it did not diminish its tenacity in assisting him to see the face of the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in his entire life. He saw the waving tangles of her hair partially covering her left cheek. Her pair of eyeglasses, which minutes ago veiled her familiarity to him, has now lost its strength to hide her beautiful eyes. He could see right through. He saw her face wet with tears. She must have been crying while he remembered everything. But it's her. It's really her. It's Thea. Thea is Dorothy. Dorothy is his Thea. Mike could not believe his eyes. Thea, it's you. It's really you, Thea. I have been trying to remember. I can't believe the woman I have loved for many years is now with me again. Thea, I love... The trumpeter's music stopped. It turned into a different, short-lived, annoying tune, like the sound of a cracking bamboo. Next thing he knew, his face turned red from Dorothy's lap. Mike was surprised. He was expecting a hug or at least a soft smile of acceptance, but not a slap. Did she not recognize him? Thea, what's that for? What in the world? Mike exclaimed in shock. Shut up, Miguel. Why did you leave without saying goodbye? Why did you not come back anymore? Why did you not communicate with me? You know I live here. You know where to find me. Not even one letter from you. I don't know which planet or galaxy you live or stay, but you, Mr. Juan Miguel, you know where I live. You know I'm from here. Why did you not come back? Dorothy was mad like a wet hen. She knew she still loves this man, but she needed answers. Her tears were replaced by a roar like that of a lion with a belching smoke coming out of her nose. Oh, and by the way, what went into your mind that you call yourself Mike now, Mr. Juan Miguel? She asked in an almost sarcastic tone. Mike was stunned. Yup, this is her, all right. This is the Thea he knew 27 years ago. She hasn't changed. This is what endeared her to him. Her bluntness and her honesty, and she knows it's him. She called him Mr. Juan Miguel and Miguel too. Ah, Thea, Mike distanced himself so as not to receive a second slap from her. Ah, Thea mimicked Mike. What? Speak up. Mike started to explain while still holding his cheek that just received a slap. A slap that came from a strong hand, which only a few minutes ago he considered very soft. Mike is a nickname for Miguel. I guess I had not told you that when we were together. And you have always liked to address me with my real name. You have always wanted to call me Juan Miguel, or Mr. Juan Miguel, or Miguel. Dorothy was silent. Come to think of it, why hasn't she thought about it? How come she had no clue that Mike is short for Miguel? Or is it because there's one before Miguel? Wait, you. How come you haven't told me that your real name is Dorothy? Why did you introduce yourself to me only as Thea? Why did you want me to only call you Thea back then? Because only those people I know I truly love have my permission to call me Thea, and I have loved you that much. That's why you could call me Thea. That is the answer she wanted to tell Mike, but she didn't have the courage to say it at that point. Hey, I'm the one asking question here. Mike started explaining again. This is really his Thea. There isn't any single doubt. Thea, I wanted to come back. I planned to come back. I was saving money for the trip back here. In fact, I was planning to sell my car. I already had a buyer. Then the accident happened. I couldn't remember many things after that. I wanted to, but I couldn't. Of course, Dorothy knew that already by now. He just wanted to hear it from Mike himself. And now it's clear that in the unfortunate twist of fate, her Miguel was taken away from her, and none of it entirely was his fault. She was trying hard not to shed a tear, or at least for a while, but she knew that eventually she'd let it all out. But why, Miguel? Why did you leave me? Why did you go without saying goodbye? Thea, I was there. You were not there. What do you mean? Dorothy's eyebrows almost met one another in a downward slope towards her nose. She was baffled with what Mike said. She did not understand any of it.